Is it an April Fool? We go deer stalking with a thermal scope in daytime. I know.
That's really good. No, nice stalk. Well done, mate.
Have grey squirrels in Somerset speciated and learned to fly? We ask the experts.
There are nearly 300 species of squirrels in the world, and a significant number of them glide between trees.
And a cheap way to buy an airgun. Eric Irish talks trade-ins.
We've taken 2 and 3 guns at times against one.
David is on the Fieldsports Channel news stump. Plus, we have some great news about last week's gun grab. Dairy farmers. Welcome to Fieldsports Britain. There is a lot to learn about thermal hunting technology, and it can teach us a thing or two as well. Look at this fox. Its brush is giving off no heat signature at all. It looks like an afterthought. So we're joining Mr. Pilbeam on a journey of discovery. There's a lot of talk about nighttime deer control using products such as this Thermtec Oryx thermal scope. Night shooting deer, rightly, makes Tim nervous. He'd like to get a sense of what it would be like, but in a controlled environment. In other words, daylight.
It's quite topical at the moment because they're introducing night licences. And so the only way I can actually kind of investigate is actually see what it's like. I've shot thermal lots and lots of times, but actually shooting deer. And we're just trying to find perhaps the limitations, concerns. One of the reasons for doing this film is obviously to show off some really good tech, but also perhaps to actually explore the pros and cons, the strengths and weaknesses of using thermal in more perhaps during the daytime than anything else.
We've got a couple of outings booked with 2 local stalkers to try and bag a fallow before the end of the season. Unfortunately, the first evening doesn't bear fruit. Here they're dealing with a common problem in the southeast: different deer management objectives.
Each landowner's got his own agenda, and many landowners do not want the deer shot, but if you're a farmer, you want the damn things got rid of. So there's a bit of balance here, but we've got a classic situation where we can sit on the outside of somebody else's paddock and wait till he goes into the wood, shoot the deer. But that's what happens over here anyway, but let's see what we can find.
Next up is Will, who's fitting us in between clients. He's got some lovely woodland to stalk through. A lack of wind and a mist that just won't burn off might cause us issues. Tim's got the Thermtec on a steel action straight pull in 6.5 Creedmoor. He first used this rifle on the stags in Mull in Scotland last year and is becoming a fan.
One of the smoothest straight pull rifles you can get. Synthetic Stalking is just a very, very nice rifle. These start around about £3,000, so once again it's a premium rifle, it's a premium product, so I'm expecting a lot from it. Shoots beautifully well as well, so yeah, so we've got I suppose we have got a premium product on a premium rifle as well.
The mist might be causing us issues, but the thermal is still picking out animals tucked back in the woods.
We've only got headshots or nothing else. The problem was it's just a safety thing. We haven't really got a clear backstop, so I'm just filming it for now, but it's like about 40 metres away. But that's deer stalking for you in the UK. It's such a problem with safety. And we're not too sure, Will's not too sure about the shot, so anyway, nice to see a deer anyway, isn't it? You can't see it, but
there's another one to the right. You might be able to get a headshot.
Fine, no problem at all.
We end the morning stalk, where we'll probably end up this evening, in Will's well-presented high seat with views along rides on both sides and clear fell in front.
You've got the most amazing
Shooting gallery.
It is. It's beautiful, isn't it?
Yeah.
You've got clear fell here. You know, it's incredible.
Yeah.
And you've got quite a few of these, have you? Just
It's a 3-seater as well.
a 3-seater.
But yeah, I've got 3 on this estate and building a few more over the summer.
It's great to see them actually. You know.
Funnily enough, I think galvanised seats, quality ones, you know, sort of tick over at about 350 quid. And, you know, yes, you can get the FY1 grants and all sorts of things to contribute towards the cost of them. But I quite like these. I can build one for about 150 quid. And they look attractive. Landowners quite like them to sit in and have a gin and tonic. So I think they're a nice place to be in the summer months when I'm not really out on the deer.
hardly your fault, is it, darling? You know, you tried really, really hard.
I think
could see our hands in front of our faces.
I think it was hard work this morning. I think there were Tim's heavy footsteps, so it was never going to go well. But
No. I know you're new to this, Will, but you always blame the cameraman.
Yeah.
Right? Yes.
Yeah. Well,
you always do.
True Fieldsports fashion.
Yes, right. Yes. Always blame David.
Yeah.
So we blanked then, obviously.
We did blank. We saw a good group at the beginning, and then we've seen a few row and you know the odd fallow kicking around. But I think with it being sort of fairly windless, and actually an easterly wind, which we don't really get here very often. It's been pretty windless. It's been a bit frosty at the start, and then it's been a bit snap, crackle, and pop in the woods. And so I think we're going to have another go later if we can coax you out again and see what we can find. But it's been 30 feet in front of us or less with a thick fog. So we'll have to see how we get on.
Ideal for Pilbeam though, because we've probably done 4 miles.
I like a bit of walking.
No extraction.
But I think also on the thermal side is that the thermal does punch through a lot of that fog, doesn't it? So you can see you can see things with a thermal, but you just can't through the camera or through a normal scope. You just would not see them.
I think,
I don't know if that's what I'm saying. Is that good or bad? I'm not too sure. Yeah,
I think the technological advances are probably encouraging people possibly to take risks that they might not take. But equally, there's an upside to it that you can certainly penetrate deeper into the undergrowth where you might catch someone walking where they shouldn't be or what have you. So I think there's a safety element to it as well.
It wasn't very far away. I think I may have measured the distance on
Before starting off on our afternoon stalk, Tim shows us footage he's filmed today and earlier in the week through the scope.
We're 48 metres away now.
We retrace our steps from this morning and then Will takes us off the main track. He spots a group of fallow laid up behind the cover 20 metres in front of us. Biding our time, we wait for a shot. They sense something is wrong and they're on their feet. Tim has to drop down on the sticks to find a gap to slide the shot between the branches.
I had to drop down a wee bit. That's the problem I had with my sticks, Will, because that tree was in the way. So I came down low just to be able to take that shot. But
Jolly good effort.
Well, it's good.
Good
That's really good. Nice stalk, well done, mate.
I'm impressed that you managed to get at that actually, because there was quite a lot between you and the deer initially.
We're going across there. Really good.
Well, it looks like a really good shot. Should we go and have a
Well,
look?
shall we have a look? Yeah. Okay. That's the thing.
Our buck runs and we find it 25 yards behind, conveniently lying on the track.
Will, so ideal cull?
Yeah, perfect.
Yeah.
Perfect. We get some really good bucks in here.
Yeah.
And that's an example of reasonably poor one, I would say, but I'm sure it's got plenty of fat in it with all of the masters here. So we'll open it up and have a look.
As Tim already has a freezer full of venison, this animal will end up with Will's friend Russell Flowers at the Sustainable Meat Eater.
Well, all the deer that get culled, through my handling, goes to a company called the Sustainable Meat Eater, which is based in Stonegate, local to here, run by a good friend. He's ex-military, incredibly skilled, and produces first-class, sustainable meat. And it's been brilliant, sort of furnishing, landowners with venison that's so beautifully prepared. Actually, Tim, I think you've had some venison from him as well, and it's a great setup, and it's something I'm keen to promote.
Whatever type of hunting you want, Will can provide, from trophies to meat to just the experience. And he offers competitive rates for local people wanting to enjoy wild, sustainable food. Because the fallow buck was so close, we weren't able to see Thermtec's auto sight system in action. It's a clever way of being able to track your deer, especially in the dark.
One of the features I like about it is called the TAS, the Thermtec Auto Sight System. So basically, if you are shooting a deer and you're on 10 or 12 power, and you take the shot, it automatically drops down to the base magnification, which is really quite useful, because sometimes if you shoot a deer and you're on high mag, you're trying to find it after taking the shot. Well, actually, it automatically drops back to the base of amplification. So I think that's actually quite a nice feature.
With Will happy for Tim to continue contributing to his management plan, we head off again in the hope of catching up with another fallow. When we lose the light, we spot a fox, and at the Clearfell top edge, deer graze, but don't venture out into the open. Tim is pleased the Thermtec Oryx did what it's supposed to. Of course, it doesn't really make sense to use a thermal scope during the day, but as a confidence builder, it's a start. For more information about the Thermtec range, go to thermtec.co.uk. If you'd like to go stalking with Will, find him at Parkwood Deerstalking on Guns on Pegs. Thanks, Tim. And if you want more detail about the Thermtec Oryx, we have recorded a full review by Tim that's on our Field Tester channel. Link below. Now, good news following last week's item about the farmer, Steve, arrested for ordering trespassing dog walkers off his land. His son Archie has got his guns back, and the police say they are going to investigate the rambler who made the complaint to see if there is a case for wasting police time. They say the pen is mightier than the sword. Well, sometimes it's the camera, which together with Layla and the insurance is there to help our Fieldsports members. Next up, wasting your time, it's David on the Fieldsports Channel News Stump.
This is Fieldsports Channel News. The government's announcement it plans to ban trail hunting has provoked a measured response from trail hunting organisations. There is a diktat consultation that runs until the 18th of June 2026. The government has put up a video of anti-hunting DEFRA Minister Baroness Hayman to encourage antis to take part in it. The Countryside Alliance has put up an e-lobby on its website for viewers to complete.
The consultation will be running for 12 weeks until June the 18th. There is plenty of time. Together, we can fight the ban and ensure that trail hunting remains for generations to come.
There are signs the antis are nervous the government will stick to the letter of its manifesto commitment and ban trail hunting, and only trail hunting. With only around 1% of working dogs in the UK involved in trail hunting, antis persuaded the Times newspaper to publish an article about the legal and widely enjoyed sport of stag hunting on Exmoor, as if it were a criminal activity. Starmer did not promise to ban stag hunting, buck hunting, beagling rabbits, bassetting mink hounds, chasing rats, long dogs on rabbits, ratting with terriers, or any of the dog work in shooting sports, let alone ferreting, falconry, or using bumblebees to flush mice. See our film on that subject. Basque has announced a useful response to the government's consultation on restricting snipe shooting and certain duck species. You need to respond to the consultation by the 17th of May by emailing wildlife management and crime at defra.gov.uk with the subject title "My Response to the Quarry Species Consultation" and a message requesting the government to drop all its restriction proposals and instead endorse Basque's Sustainable Shooting Code of Practice. The full message for your email is in the description below. If you want to submit a more detailed response to the government, there's a link to guidance for that below too. The Game and Wildlife Conservation Trust has won nearly £1 million for curlew conservation. Its Land of the Curlew project won the government funding following the repeated failure of the RSPB's Lake Vyrnwy's curlew project, which has cost more than £5 million and no longer has any breeding curlews. The GWCT's Curlew Connections Wales has been running for 3 years and has seen a team of 3 curlew and people officers working with farmers, communities and volunteers to protect breeding curlew by using gamekeeping techniques. A British teenager has won gold at her first senior competition. Setting a junior world record in the process, Beth Norton, who's 19 from Hertford, triumphed in the women's skeet at the ISSF World Cup in Morocco. The clay pigeon shooter beat Olympic and World Championship medalists to take home the gold, and her score of 28 was the highest recorded by a junior at a senior competition final. Thanks to Greg Hill for the story. There's a new Young Shots initiative for youngsters interested in the countryside. Called the Guided Shot, it aims to be an entry point for people who want to get into country sports. Its first event is a drinks evening in London. It plans to host simulated game days and grow from there. Link to its Instagram page below. A ladies' clay competition in Hampshire is back for its 4th year. The Ladies' Cup 26 has a new format and venue. Held at the Spitfire Shoot in Stockbridge on Saturday the 15th of August 2026, it is open to ladies from beginners to experienced. Link below. And finally, a Norwegian who heard a bang found a capercaillie in his bathroom. The bird had broken the window in the guest room at a cabin near the Norwegian south coast. To avoid being pecked, the owner threw a towel over the 20-pound bird, took it outside and released it. And he mended the window. Thanks to Per Holmseth for the story. You are now up to date with Fieldsports Channel News. Stalking the stories, fishing for facts. Fieldsports Channel members get more. Every week there's Fieldsports Extra, our exclusive show, packed with behind-the-scenes clips, interviews and a free prize draw. Plus, membership gives you access to our Fieldsports Advice Bureau for help with shooting and firearms licensing, with our in-house lawyer on your side. And with our insurance, you're covered for £10 million public liability for shooting activities across the UK, as well as legal expenses cover. Join today so we can keep the pressure on and the volume up.
Here's what's in this week's Fieldsports Extra. Catching snipe in nets, and a bit more from Richard Tice.
Well, it's an envious hatred of all things rural.
Fieldsports Extra competition prize this week is a Shooter King Field Game Dog Training Vest priced at £62.50. That's what you can get for joining the Fieldsports membership. For taking part in one of our raffles at fieldsportscompetitions.co.uk, prizes include 4,000 RC2 competition cartridges, bushware shooting sticks, an aimpoint Acro C2 and a Pard Night Stalker night vision scope. Here's Owen with more.
Hello, Owen from the Cumbria Country Sports YouTube channel here. So, over the past few months I've been lucky enough to have one of these. This is the Pard Night Stalker 4K EX on top of the 243. I've been using this for both foxing and the odd deer stalk. Some features of this scope quickly: 1000 metre LRF, side focus, battery system, so you've got your 18650 in the side and an internal one that you can charge up internally, and all your recording functions, ballistics calculation, etc. So yeah, like I say, head over to fieldsportscompetitions.co.uk for your chance to win one of these. I think the tickets are £4.99, so yeah, good luck guys.
To buy tickets to enter the draws, visit fieldsportscompetitions.co.uk. Now, let's go out after squirrels. My dad has squirrels in his wood. That's not a euphemism. We shot them hard last year, but they are back. Even the pheasants are offended. Naturally, I ask my old friend Jaff, who was, as we all know, raised by squirrels, to come and sort them out. He starts with feeder maintenance. Squirrel feeder connoisseurs will notice the addition of chicken wire.
Squirrels like to sit up and eat a nut like that. So the theory is they're going to go in, get the nut, come back out, sit on that, eat a nut, we shoot them.
It is brilliant in its simplicity. But the squirrels have not been idle during the winter. I am fiddling in the holly, and on the phone of course, when this happens. Let's just look at it again. Yes, indeed, that was a flying squirrel. Now, is this an example of speciation, where a change in behaviour causes an animal to evolve? I ask local expert, my dad.
It's just possible that the squirrels in Silverwood are learning to jump bigger distances by spreading their ribs and getting a bit of lift from the air as they from tree to tree. And you can see how this has happened in other tropical species of squirrels. And they have become the flying squirrels. There are nearly 300 species of squirrels in the world, and a significant number of them glide between trees. And I wish them all the ill in the world for the simple fact that the bastards have eaten my trees.
OK, I'll come clean. It is all an elaborate plan to fool Jaff and Dean Smallwood, maybe known to you as Knife Maker Dean from ADG Custom Knives, who are both coming to the wood on Saturday morning with airgun and rimfire to thin the squirrels. I set out fake squirrels which I can operate with fishing line. This film is coming out on the 1st of April. Right, I can see it, you can see it, but let's hope that it's nice and dark in the morning and Jaff and Dean won't be able to see it. On the appointed morning, Jaff, Dean and I take up our positions in the hide and wait for the real squirrels to come. I bide my time. I want it to be light enough to get their faces on the camera and dark enough they don't clock the fishing line. Happily, their attention is entirely on real squirrels, and there are plenty of those.
I've got my 2-2, rimfire as normal, and Dean's got his PCP air rifles. So it's going to be interesting to see the comparison between the two, really. We're only shooting out about 20 yards, so the 2-2's more than capable. I know nothing about air rifles, I will confess, but I have seen them in action before, and I've got no doubt that they're going to have the killing power that we need. So.
The first one, which goes to Dean and his airgun, gets airborne, but not one of my flying squirrels.
Couldn't see it through the scope. You could see it on the thermal, but I just couldn't see it. I think there might have been maybe a little branch or something in the way, but I just couldn't see it.
Yeah, I had a clear shot straight through. Yeah.
After that, we see plenty of squirrels, real squirrels, and Dean and Jaff shoot every one. I decide to see if I can activate my fake squirrels. Disaster! The ground squirrel lines have snapped and I can't get the flying squirrel off the runway. Jaff is scanning the horizon with his new Hike Micro spotter. A perfect time when I snap the flying squirrel's fishing line. You can hear it go.
Snap. What was that? You? Oh. Oh, the Yeti behind us or something.
Oh well, at least he doesn't know the real reason for the snap. Back to the genuine articles. I even leave the hide in order to activate my fake squirrels because Jaff and Dean are still none the wiser.
That's the end of the squirrels for a bit.
Surprisingly, Dean, when you go out and pick them up,
Yeah.
they'll come back straight away, so it doesn't really disturb them at all. No, not at all.
There's one coming. Keep still, Charlie.
Charlie, stand still a minute.
Eventually, I have to come clean and tell them about the phony squirrels.
Ah, I've been looking at that.
That thing moving down there, is it attached to it?
I've been sat in there.
Oh my God.
Looking at that, thinking, what is it?
Fake squirrels 0, real squirrels 12 in the bag. Dad will be delighted, even though our plan to fool Dean and Jaff hit the buffers. Of those 12, partly because he had to go early, Jaff only shot 1.
I have your 1.
Yay! That's a ferret's fed anyway, so that's good. It's good.
Will you get an air rifle, Jaff?
No,
Definitely not.
don't need one because I've got my rifles and everything. For me, for what I do, my 2-2's perfect. Air rifles though, brilliant. Yeah, they do the job. No problem at all. You know.
Well, they've proved it here today, haven't they? Certainly this range. And the other advantage, of course, with air rifles being the around farm buildings, no ricochet, things like that. So
they're not cheap, are they?
those two aren't. No. To be fair, they're sort of at the top of the range as far as PCPs are concerned. But of course, the other thing is a lot of people's introduction to shooting in general is with an air rifle to begin with when you're 12 or 13 around the farms. Well, it certainly was back in my day.
Used to shoot me uncle's wild chickens with air rifles.
You used to shoot your uncle's chickens?
Uncle's chickens, yeah.
Right, okay, yeah.
You added the word wild, didn't you?
Yeah. He used to let his chickens run. And he used to give us once a year.
These are these famous Somerset wild chickens, like the Somerset flying squirrels that we've got around here as well, isn't it?
Say, go on lads, go out and shoot some chickens. He'd have too many because they breed.
Yeah. Somerset's a strange place.
That was our fun with air rifles.
Well, that's next year's April Fool sorted. The wild chickens of Somerset.
Thanks, Jaff, Dean, and my dad, who enjoyed that immensely. Now, the Stalking show is just around the corner. Held at the Staffordshire Showground on the 11th and 12th of April 2026, we will have a Fieldsports Channel stand there in the same marquee as last year. Neil Rowntree is on duty to talk deer and Layla to talk firearms licensing. Please come and say hello and sign up to our membership. And as if you needed more of an incentive, if you are a member who drags along a friend or relative or even your probation officer to sign up, you stand to earn yourself a bottle of our fighting spirit slow gin, crafted by Fox Denton. That is until we run out. Next, in these straitened times, how do you buy your dream airgun? Here's how.
How does airgun finance work? Eric Irish from Devon and online airgun shop Crackshot is holding the kind of gun he takes as a trade-in for a new model.
This one here is just it's an old style Webley Raider. It's still a serviceable, usable gun, but they are, things are moving on. When they bought it, I should imagine it was probably less than 300 quid. Say for instance we gave you £200 for this one, then you could buy a new one and you could have a finance deal on it. So this would come in as a deposit of £200. So you could then go away with something like one of the FX Impacts. I think they're 1825. You could then spread the payments over a 24-month period. I think it's going to come in just under £83 a month, or it's just under £50 a month if you put it over 48 months. You've got to get approved in the first place. If you've got a fairly good credit rating, you're good to go. Unfortunately, if you haven't, it's not going to happen. We use a company called Byline. We put your information to them and they then run the credit checks on you, but we're FCA approved to basically send your details on. It's got a much higher shot count. You've also got a much larger magazine, so you get a lot more shooting and you don't need to take your bottle with you. A couple of magazines with this, and that's a really, really good night shooting. We've taken 2 and 3 guns at times against one. It's got to be something decent. If it's had its day, unfortunately it's had its day.
For more from Crackshot, visit crackshot.online.
Thank you, Eric. And that's it for this week. If you haven't done so already, please visit our website, fieldsportschannel.tv, where you can click to like us on Facebook and Instagram. You can follow us on X and TikTok. You can subscribe to us on YouTube or pop your email address into our weekly newsletter box and we'll contact you about this show. Fieldsports Britain. It's at 7 PM UK time every Wednesday. And this has been Fieldsports Britain. Good hunting, good shooting, good fishing, and goodbye.